Welcome to AER Int channel, and welcome back to sheet metal cores. As we mentioned in the previous videos, Solidworks does have a range of pre-made forming tools. But the chances are that at some point in the future, we'll want to use a custom forming tool. This could be something functional for our design, or it could just be something like a logo. In this video, we'll have a look at how we can create our own custom forming tools, and then use them in our design. Before we start, let's just delete all of these extra forms on the base flange from the previous video, just so we've got a nice empty base flange there that we can use for our forming tool once we've made it. Now let's open up one of the pre-made forming tools in Solidworks, so we can have a look at how the tool is actually made. So open the design library, and if you don't have the design library or these tools, then we can just watch along this section because we'll make our own in a moment. So I'm going to open the design library, go to forming tools, go to something like embosses, and open this countersink embossed tool. So I'm gonna click on it and press open. This is the part that makes up the countersink embossed tool, and one of the first things that we might notice is the colors. In a forming tool, these red faces show the faces to remove, so as that cut material away, and then the yellow faces are faces that will actually deform or bend the material. Let's have a look at creating our own forming tool. But one thing that we should bear in mind when making these tools is that they can be quite expensive to actually custom make in real life, and they probably will add some extra lead time onto our parts, so our parts will take longer to be made. The first thing that we need to do is start a new part, so let's go to File, New, and then just start a new part, and we need to sketch a base that's larger than the tool and extruded it to say 20mm. We're going to delete this base later, so don't worry too much about the size, it just helps us set up the tool correctly. Let's start on the front plane, but it could be any plane, and draw a center rectangle, say 300 by 300. And as I mentioned, this size isn't really too important, because it will be cut away. It's just to help us initially make the tool. So when we've drawn the rectangle, let's extrude that line 20mm. Now that we've created and extruded our base, we can actually make the forming tool geometry. This is the part that will actually press the shape into the sheet. I'm gonna draw something like a large plus or cross shape, and so I'm gonna use the center rectangles for this. I'm gonna start a sketch on this top face, get the center rectangle, and then draw one at the origin like this, and then another one also the origin, but in this direction. I'm gonna make them both the same size, let's say 30 wide by 200 long. And then I can use relations. So I'm gonna select both of these short edges and make them equal, and then do the same on these long edges. So hold down Ctrl, select both long edges, and then make those equal. Now we've got the profile that we can use to make the extruded section. So I'm just gonna extrude this, but because we've got these overlapping lines, we might get an error. So let's just go to the Features tab, press Post Extrude, and then go down to Selected Contours. I'm just gonna select both of the rectangles, so we can extrude everything even though we've got these overlapping lines here. We are going to apply and extrude 20mm, but we can set whatever size we want. So now we have the actual cross shape that we are going to press into the metal. But if we look at it, it's got very sharp edges, and forming tools and sheet metal in general really doesn't really like sharp edges, because these can cause problems. They can cut the material, they can cause crinkles, things like that. So ideally we need to round off the sharp edges with fillets. So for example, let's select the fillet tool, and then round off all of these small edges. And we're gonna try maybe 10mm for those. We also want to round off this top edge, so I'm gonna do maybe 4mm around there. And then finally this bottom edge as well. And this is why we added the base. It just helps us to add this fillet around the bottom. We could do without the base, but we'd probably have to draw the profile and then sweep it around, and then it would just be a lot easier to use the base like this. So let's get the fillet tool, and this time let's go for 4mm. Now the tool is nearly ready, so we can cut away the base because we don't need it anymore. Let's expand that base feature. Select the sketch used to make it, and then do an extruded cut using the initial sketch. So this will be the same as the boss, so 20mm in this case, and that just cuts away that base. but we've still got that fillet around the bottom edge. At this stage, we can also add an orientation sketch. This can be used to position the tool, and it can be used in the flat button view of the bar if we make a 2D drawing. To make this sketch, let's just start a sketch on the bottom of the tool. So underneath here, select the entire face and then press Convert. And that will add the entire outer perimeter of that tool as new sketch entities. Then I'm also just gonna get the point tool and add a point at the center of the tool, just to help us position it. Now our tool is ready to be made into a forming tool, so we can exit the sketch. To make it into the tool, we can go to Insert, Sheet Metal, Forming Tool. Here on the left, we have to choose some options. And the first one is the stopping face. This is the face that stops at the face of our sheet metal bar. So it's the face that's flush with our metal sheet when the forming tool's at its deepest point. In this case, we're gonna press the entire tool all the way into the metal. So this back face should be in line with the sheet. So this back face is the stopping face. And if this is a little bit unclear at the moment, then we'll have a look at it in a bit more detail when we actually test out the finished tool, and it will be a bit more obvious then. But for now, we can just select this back face. Next is faces to remove. These are any faces that will cut away by the tool. Now we don't have to choose anything here, but any faces that we do will be cut out of the metal. So I'm gonna choose this inside cross face here. And then finally we need the insertion point. I'm not sure why these are on two different tabs, but click this tab. And then just set the insertion point. This is the point we'll use for actually dimensioning and positioning the tool. So usually it's good to keep this at the center of the tool at the origin here. So then press OK to make the tool. We can see we've got this form tool feature in the design tree. And we can see that the colors have changed. So any red faces will be removed from the sheet that it's on. The yellow faces will be bent. And then the cyan color on the back, sort of a greenish blue color, is the stopping face. Now we can save the bar, and we've got a couple of options. We can either just save it as a normal bar, and we can save it in our forming tools folder. This bar will then show up in the design library, and if it's in that forming tool folder, it will be recognized as a forming tool, even though it is just a normal bar file. But if we save it elsewhere, so in another folder somewhere else, then SolidWorks will just see it as a normal bar file. But we can't actually save it as a specific forming tool bar, and then SolidWorks will recognize it as a forming tool no matter where it is saved. So let's go to File, Save As. So we can either save it just as a normal bar file but in the forming tools folder, and it will be recognized. So let's call it something like cross tool. Or if we want to save it elsewhere, we can click Save As Type here, and then we can choose Form Tool here. It's .sld to FTP. If we choose this option, then no matter where we save it, SolidWorks will always see that it's a forming tool. So I'm just gonna save it as a normal bar, but in the forming tools folder, under the Embosses subfolder here. Press Save. Now if we open the design library, and we go in the Embosses folder, we can see we've got that cross tool there. And we can just use this like a normal forming tool now. So now to test this out, let's go back to our original sheet, which was this one. Let's open the design library, and we can just drag the cross tool onto the sheet, and then we can use the tool like any other forming tool. We can press OK to add that feature. Now we can see that all the faces that were yellow on the forming tool are bent, or the ones that are red are cut away. And then that cyan face, the stopping face, is in line with the top of the sheet. Just one final thing that we can show. If we go back to the tool, we can actually split up the cutting face. So we just cut out certain sections of that face. So I'm going to drag back above the form tool feature to turn that off. And then I'm going to draw something up here. Just a simple sketch, maybe like a smiley face. And then I'm gonna use the split line command, which can be found if we search under the commands up here. Start to type split, find split line. Let's select the projection option, select that smiley face sketch. And and then choose the face that we want to split. Now we've split that face up into 4 sub-faces, so they're all still exactly lined up, but they are 4 separate faces. Now we can drag back down to the form tool, and we can edit that form tool, and we can adjust the cutting face, so maybe we can just get out the smiley face sections. Then save the tool and go back to the sheet. We may see initially that nothing has changed. If so, we can just edit the form tool feature, and then press OK again. And those changes should pull through. At this stage, if we had unchecked this box that says link to form tool, then we wouldn't have any changes now, because this form tool feature would be entirely separate. It wouldn't be linked to the updated tool that we just changed. So this was an introduction to creating custom forming tools. These are just created as normal solid parts. Make sure that the edges are round off, and it can help us to create a base first and then cut away that later. When we made our tool, go to Insert Sheet Metal Forming Tools. Then select the stopping face and any faces to remove if needed, and also select the insertion point. Then we can save our part, either just a normal part file in the Forming Tools folder, or as a form tool part in any location. And then we can just use the form tool like any other tool. If you do have any issues with our forming tools, then just check the radii, the fillets on the tool aren't too tight. And also be aware that custom forming tools can be very expensive in real life. So this is the end of the forming tool section. In the next section, we'll put a lot of these techniques and features together, and we'll make a multi-body enclosure as an example of what we can do with sheet metal. And then after that, we'll have a look at 2D drawings and exporting our files for use. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe if you like. I hope it can be a little helpful and useful.
Sanche